Hi friends, welcome back to Amy Bakes. I'm Amy and today we're going to put the sweets on hold and we're going to make a delicious frittata. Today we're going to be using bacon and spinach. This is a fantastic recipe because it's very versatile and you can switch it up just by simply changing a different meat, a different cheese, and a different vegetable. So let's go over the ingredients for the frittata we are going to make today. So today's frittata, we are going to use bacon and onion, mushrooms, 8 ounces of cheese. We're going to use some baby spinach, salt, pepper, and I'm going to throw a little bit of nutritional yeast in there. That is an optional ingredient. It tastes great without it or with it. It doesn't matter. And then also eggs. The typical recipe calls for 8 eggs, but this is one that you can really mix it up. I'm going to use 6 whole eggs and then I'm going to use 4 egg whites. This is one of those recipes that you can make it lighter by adding, you could do half egg whites and half eggs, or you could do egg beaters and eggs. But I've got a recipe that I'm going to make tomorrow that calls for 4 egg yolks. So instead of wasting those egg whites, I'm just going to put them in this recipe and just build up a little extra protein without the extra calories in this one. And as you can see on backyard eggs, not only are they beautiful in color, but also they're different sizes. So in a grocery store, when you buy a carton of eggs, you're going to get large or extra large or medium eggs, but I have a range of egg sizes. So I would go ahead, the typical recipe on this one would call for 8 large eggs, but because I've got the different sizes, I'm going to add extra eggs on there. But I'll just, in the recipe below, I will go ahead and include it as 8 large eggs. But then again, you can switch the eggs, you can substitute, you can add more egg whites, you can just kind of do whatever you want to do. So for our supplies today, you're going to need a skillet to fry up your bacon in. I'm going to cook it in this 9x13 Pyrex pan. I've got a bowl to mix my eggs and the cheese in, spoon, a knife, and a cutting board. And I forgot to mention, you're going to want to spray the pan that you bake it in. And so this is my favorite brand right here, the California Olive Ranch. And so I'm going to use that as my spray. I'm going to slice up my bacon. The recipe calls for 8 slices of bacon, but I'm going to do a recipe tomorrow that also calls for bacon. So what I'm going to do is cut all of this. I'm going to cook it all up today, and then I'm going to divide it in half. So I'm going to prep once, cook twice. Also, what I've done here is this was frozen, and I've had it sitting out now to thaw for about 20 minutes. And that actually helps this cut easier. If your bacon is semi-thawed, you just go right down through there and just cut this, and then you can just see that cuts much easier, and then just pop that in the skillet. The next step is we're going to cut the onion. Now, if you've seen some of my videos before, I've showed you the proper way to dice an onion, but if you haven't, and this is your first time joining us, first of all, welcome. And second, let me show you the quick version here. So on an onion, you have 2 ends. You have the ends where the peel comes together, and then you have the root end. What you want to do is cut off the peel end. Okay. Then you're going to cut your onion in half at the root end. So you've got 2 halves. See if we can get a better view of that. So you got 2 halves, and then the root is on both ends. The root actually holds the onion together. So you cut that in half. Now you've got 2 halves, each being held by a root. So then you're going to peel it. Okay, once that is peeled, then you're going to go in and you're going to cut inside like this. And this is just to dice the onion. You're going to go in at an angle all the way through the onion, but you're not cutting all the way back through to the root. Can you see that on the camera? Move that around just a little bit. You're not cutting all the way back through to where you actually disassemble the root end. So just go around. There we go. Now you're going to come in, if you want a finely diced onion, you make small cuts this way. If you want a thicker diced, you go back a little bit further. I'm going to do these somewhere in between. So then you just cut down like this. And what you end up with is an absolutely beautifully and perfect diced onion, and you're less likely to cut yourself, and you're not having to chase the onion all over the cutting board. So you just go back as far as you need to. We're going to use a half an onion in this recipe. Now we got these beautifully sliced or diced onions. Now we're just going to go in and slice up the mushrooms. Right now, I don't know if you can hear it, but the bacon is frying, and I have got the oven preheated to 375. So now I'm just going to cut these mushrooms. This particular frittata recipe is a family favorite. Even the kids like it with the spinach in it. They've liked it even when they were young. So it's really a great recipe even for children, but you can mix it up. If spinach isn't your thing, or if bacon isn't your thing, you could do ham and Swiss cheese with broccoli. So you can really mix it up. One time I had just a little bit of zucchini left over, and so I thought maybe I'd have it for lunch the next day, but instead I just went ahead and threw it in a frittata. So you can really take some of those leftover vegetables. It's a great way to use that up too. For meats, you can do breakfast sausage. I've done that too. My husband prefers bacon. I prefer breakfast sausage, or you can put both of them together. I've done that too. So it's a really versatile recipe, and you can just add whatever vegetable, whatever meat, and whatever cheese you like. Okay, I have drained off my bacon grease. I'm not sure where you're from, but here in the South, we keep all manner of bacon grease because it is kind of a cooking staple of its own. Now I'm going to add the mushrooms and the onions, and I'm going to get that fried up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and mix the eggs and the cheese and the spices. So I'm separating my eggs from my recipe for tomorrow. And look at this. This one egg was enormous, and we joked and said, oh, I bet it's going to be a double yolker. And sure enough, it's a double yolker. There we go. And I'll put these 2 egg yolks right there. So in my bowl, I have 7 eggs, and then I've got the additional egg whites that I had. I've got my 4 egg yolks that I'm going to be using in my recipes tomorrow. I'm just going to put a lid on those, put those in the fridge overnight. Now I'm going to add my spinach to the bacon, and I'm going to cook that down. And this looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down to nothing. So I haven't done a video for a few weeks because in early August, we went and looked at a piece of property in East Texas, and we loved it, and we put an offer in on it, and the seller accepted our offer. So I have spent the last 3 weeks running back and forth to do inspections and closing and repairs and all kinds of things like that. And so I'm going to have to get my son to upload some pictures. Guys, the kitchen at this new place is amazing. It's got an island that is huge. I cannot wait to show y'all some pictures of it and to start cooking in there. Right now, there's not any appliances at all. Not a refrigerator. We've been bringing an ice chest every time we go. And so that's kind of fun. And there is a microwave. And so the last time the kids and I were down there, we ordered a refrigerator and a gas range, which I'm super excited about because I have not cooked with gas in almost 12 years, and I'm so excited to get a gas range back. So all of that is actually being delivered tomorrow, and they're going to set it up for us. And so when I get the kitchen somewhat set up and painted, I do want to get it painted too. I'll have to do a show or a video from the new kitchen. See how that cooked down? All that spinach cooked down to just next to nothing. Okay, now we're just going to spray the pan, or the pan. And this is the reason why I like this particular brand on this spray. It has one single ingredient, and that's it. It doesn't have a bunch of additional things. I don't know if it's just the older I get, I'm more concerned with those added ingredients, or because my son had cancer, or both. I'm not sure. But I'm definitely much more aware of what I'm using when I'm cooking now. So now I'm going to add my salt, and I just use a mineral salt, and I just give it a very good generous pinch or two. It probably equates to about a teaspoon or two. And about maybe half a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. Now, like I said, it's good with it or without it, but I like it because it's got some wonderful health benefits to it. Nutritional yeast is actually great for your metabolism and your glucose. It also has very high in vitamin B12. Actually, all the B vitamins, but specifically B12. So I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons in there. Flavor-wise, it just adds a little bit of a cheesy flavor, and so that goes well with the frittata. So now we're just going to whisk this in, and then what I'm going to do is just add about half of my cheese. I don't want to put it all in here because I want to save some of it to go on top of the frittata. All right, now what we're going to do is we are just going to put this in the pan, and then I'm going to add the cheese on top of, or the egg and cheese mix on top of it, and then kind of stir it in. This is a great recipe for, first of all, breakfast, but also for dinner. You could do it with a side salad or even a lunch. It's great if you are watching your carbs. I don't really know much about the keto diet, so I don't know if it would fall under those guidelines, but it does definitely fall under a low carb guideline. And so it's really good for that. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to add, try to get this angle here, it might be a little bit better. We're going to add this right on top. And just get all that egg out. There we go. And then we're just going to stir it in and kind of mix this around. Then I'm going to put some cheese on the top of this. Get that good and mixed in. And then we're going to bake this at 375 for 25 minutes or until you can insert a knife and it come out clean. Oh, this looks beautiful. Look at that nice golden brown. There we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. That's going to continue to cook for just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is cut that into 8 pieces. We'll have it for dinner, and then we'll take whatever's left over. We'll wrap it up in individual pieces, and my husband's got breakfast for the next several days. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope that you give this recipe a try. It is really delicious. Kids love it, adults love it, and it's very versatile. If you do try it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Or if you have a flavor profile, different flavor suggestion, leave that comment for me too. I do read all of the comments. I've got some great videos coming your way. So be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way you'll receive a notification when I upload a new video. Coming up, I'm going to be making some pumpkin muffins. We're entering into the fall season, which is my favorite season of all. So we're going to do some pumpkin muffins. I'm also going to do my daughter's favorite dinner is baked chicken. And it is so easy, guys, you're just not even going to believe how easy this is. So we're going to do an entire dinner. We're going to do the baked chicken and the sides. And so I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a wonderful meal. So simple, you're going to be shocked. And you don't want to miss that. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe and that bell notification. And I will get my son to upload the pictures of the new house for you. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.